Welcome to the Raise Your Bars podcast, where it's all about elevating your life one step at a time. With your hosts, Chris Baker and Al Rattan. Together, we're here to guide you through the transformative journey of self-improvement and success. Have you ever wondered what behaviors and actions you need to change to achieve the results and success you desire in life? Well, you're in the right place. Each episode, we dive deep into the strategies, mindset shifts, and practical steps you can take to raise your bars. From personal development to professional growth, Chris and Al share their expertise, experiences, and the occasional tough love, all designed to empower you to reach your full potential. So, whether you're looking to make a big change or simply fine-tune your path to success, grab a seat and let's raise those bars together. Now, let's welcome your hosts, Chris Baker and Al Rattan.
Well, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Raise Your Bars podcast. And I'm here with my good friend, Chris Baker. And we're heading into module 3, talking about a creative mindset in our Mindset Mastery series. And don't forget, if you haven't already, go to Facebook and go to Raise Your Bars Personal Growth Solutions. It's a Facebook group. Join the group. It's completely free. And there you can download the worksheets for this lesson to follow along with. And plus, watch all of the other ones if you want to watch it on there, or download any of the past worksheets if you happen to be catching this on YouTube or on our podcast platforms. So, Chris, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm always maintaining a positive, abundant mindset and keeping everything moving forward. So we're living what we're talking about. That's the thing, right?
Because you kind of have to, because the last thing I want to be is a hypocrite, and nothing I despise more than people that say one thing and do the complete opposite. So
yeah. And here's the thing: I think everybody needs to understand and probably accept it that times will get hard, right? You know, I know you've had an election this week and maybe didn't go as people wanted it to, or some people, and, you know, we had one last year, same sort of thing. Some people were feeling that, but guess what? Life goes on. So, you know, you can't control what happens, but you can control how you respond. And that's really, I think, as we go through these and the other teachings I'm doing at work and conversation I'm having, I think that's the overarching message really is concentrate on what you can control, and what you can't control, let it go. Don't waste your time and energy and emotions being dragged down into all of that stuff.
Well, obviously, you know, and you're right, because there's still a lot of talk online about what happened and why did this happen and so on and so forth with our election. And you know what? Honestly, my party that I favored did not get in. I mean, and other people have a different party that did get in, and I congratulated them because that's what a democratic society is, right? And the election turned out the way it turned out. And now I was a little upset that evening as I laid my head on the pillow, and I woke up the next morning and went, oh well, now let's focus on hockey, right? Like I just flipped the switch. Okay, it's over. There's nothing I can do about it. This is the way it's going to be for the next 4 years, whether you like it or hate it. And then, you know, again, the opposing side gets in next time, maybe, and then the other half of the population's upset. So, you know, like, you're right. The attitude determines it. Sadly, my Leafs lost on the Tuesday night too. So I had 2 losses in a row. It was kind of hard to deal with, but I've recovered.
Exactly. Life goes on.
Exactly. So today we're gonna talk about this the creative mindset. Now, so let's just get into it, Chris. So it's a commonly held belief that you're either creative or you're not. Following that line of thinking, a creative mindset should only be relevant to people who are artists, designers, novelists, composers, etc. But nothing could be further from the truth. A creative mindset is not limited to a select few who are inherently creative. A creative mindset is for everybody. It inspires original breakthrough thinking and concepts that allow you to produce innovative results, products, and ideas that will actually propel you and your business and your team and your personal life forward. So when you adopt a creative mindset, you give yourself permission to be inventive and imaginative in the expected ways, like art, music, and design, etc., and in other aspects of your life. applying original thinking to business and personal issues, developing content and campaigns that resonate with your audience, finding efficient ways to complete tasks, and etc. Chris will add etc. to that, okay? So in this module, you're going to learn about the creative mindset and creativity myths that hold us back and ways you can nurture the creative mindset. So in lesson 1, which we're going to talk about right now, is what is a creative mindset? And then next week, we'll be back with the second part, which is nurturing that creative mindset. Now, our learning objective today is to pinpoint the characteristics and benefits of that creative mindset.
All right. So great setup. Let's dive into it. What is a creative mindset? Well, creative mindset is a state of mind where you open yourself up to thinking and acting in a way that fosters creativity. Creativity is all about transforming the day-to-day and mundane into something interesting and unique. So the creative mindset involves tweaking things that already exist or taking two unrelated ideas and putting them together to make something new. Now, as Al said, we're all creative in different ways and to different degrees. Proponents of the creative mindset aren't trying to say a commercial jingle is on a par with a Mozart concerto. Clearly it's not, right? But creativity is natural and humans are hardwired to create. Now, problems arise when we start to judge ourselves harshly and compare ourselves to others. That little inner critic pipes up and many people decide that they're not creative because they feel like they don't measure up. The creativity, originality, and inventiveness that is our birthright gets snuffed out. Now, what's important is boosting our own creativity to create meaningful innovation and joy in our lives. We need to feel free to manifest ideas into reality, working with available resources, skills, and materials. Now, nurturing a creative mindset is the first step to becoming more creative, but you need to apply skills and turn it into action to truly reap the benefits.
Yeah, exactly. And there are numerous benefits to developing this creative mindset with applications in the corporate world, startup life, 9-to-5 jobs, trades, education, personal development, relationships, and more. So why should you nurture a creative mindset? Well, when running a business, it's easy to get stuck in a rut. And if something isn't broken, why fix it? Oh man, I can't tell you, Chris.
Yeah.
How many
I
times
used
have we
to
heard
say
that?
Yeah, I
know.
used to say that.
Yeah, exactly. But the marketplace and consumer buying habits are constantly evolving. It's dangerous to become complacent. So a creative mindset allows you to explore possibilities and test out scenarios. It enables you to stay on top of trends and anticipate upcoming shifts. With a creative mindset, you can run through potential changes on the horizon and possible outcomes. And a creative mindset can't always prevent issues, but it can prepare you for them.
Exactly. And what it also does is it allows you to get an edge on the competition. A creative mindset will give you a distinct advantage over the competition. Again, pause here as well, because when we talk about this is the same as your personal. It's not just if you're a business owner and entrepreneur, right? Because if you're an individual and you are looking for a promotion, guess what? You've got competition. Right? So while the competition may do things the same old way and lag behind, what you'll be doing is innovating and be willing to test out new ideas. Now, some may work, some may not. But what's important is that you're constantly anticipating, envisioning, and innovating. So what that does is it builds resilience and staying power. Now, companies that pivot and adapt during difficult times, such as economic downtimes, pandemics, etc., are more likely to survive. Now, the question is, what powers a pivot? A creative mindset. Businesses that creatively adapt their business model when the old one no longer works have a greater chance of success. The benefit can be applied to your personal life too. A creative mindset allows you to identify what's not working and then brainstorm ways to change and adapt. If your relationship hits a rocky patch, or your child is having a hard time in school, or you're feeling lost, a creative mindset can help you resolve these issues and then persevere.
The next thing is it enhances your decision-making process.
Mm.
A creative mindset is a valuable tool when making decisions. It allows you to weigh the options, gather evidence, brainstorm ideas, and evaluate your choices. It can be applied to business decisions, a marketing strategy, new hires, possible expansion or partnerships, and personal decisions. A second date, which school you're to send your child to, or where to live.
Mm-hmm.
The next, it contributes to creative ideas. A creative mindset helps you develop concepts, ideas, and promotions that resonate with your audience. It empowers you to make creative decisions for your business. You don't have to leave everything to the experts. It puts some of the control back into your hands. It allows you to explore your creative side in your personal and professional life without being self-conscious or self-censoring.
Mm. Now, what that does is it increases adaptability and open-mindedness. Creativity allows you to see things from different points of view. Honing a creative mindset combats the rigidness and inflexibility that tends to creep up on us, especially as we get older. It keeps us open to possibility, change, new perspectives and approaches. And I'd say out here that, I sort of had conversations with some aspiring leaders recently. We had a reunion on Tuesday night. And one of them specifically has just gained a promotion and specifically said that the courses that we did and essentially the programs on active listening and being open-minded and having this sort of can-do attitude and solution-oriented thinking, actually, she specifically said it helped her get that promotion.
Wow.
So this happens at work, all right? So again, don't dismiss this and say, I'm not a business owner, I'm not an entrepreneur. Doesn't matter, right? No. You can use creativity to help yourself in all aspects of your life. What it does as well is it helps us become a better leader. And again, caveat this, and you may say, well, I'm not a leader at work, but you are a leader because you influence other people. If you influence other people, they follow you. And if somebody's following you, what does that make you? A leader. Right?
Absolutely.
Now, a creative mindset allows you to identify opportunities, instill confidence and energy in others, honestly, as well as yourself. And it also enables you to see situations from multiple perspectives. So get comfortable with ambiguity and then take decisive action. These are all skills of an effective leader.
Yeah. And the last one, and this is a great one. I mean, it's really cool. It boosts joy and inspiration. A creative mindset can lead us to what we're passionate about, giving our life meaning and purpose. The act of creating naturally makes us happy, optimistic, and excited. So we want to talk about a few myths of creativity. With other mindsets, we tend to compare an idea or compare an ideal mindset, for an example, growth or abundance, with its shadow mindset, fixed and scarcity. With the creative mindset, the enemy is not so much an opposite mindset, but instead, it's the commonly held myths about creativity and how they erode our confidence.
Yeah, as you said earlier, Al, people say you're either creative or you're not. Creativity is natural and humans are hardwired to create, as we've already covered. We're all creative in different ways and to different degrees. You aren't born with a set amount of creativity that stays the same your whole life. With practice and focus, creativity is something that can be grown and developed. And I think, again, we're perfect examples of this. I hold my hand up and say I wasn't anywhere near as creative as I am now, even 10 years ago, honestly. So, another myth is, hey, leave the creativity to the creatives. Within organizations, creativity is actually essential at all levels, not just within the creative department or in top positions. Companies that succeed prioritize the creative mindset, fresh ideas, new approaches, novel solutions. And they do that in all departments, during all customer interactions and at all meetings.
Yeah, and I just want to say here, just again, pause for a minute. I think it's amazing Again, when you get around that, if you are in a business or organization, you get around that table with your teammates and just start bouncing ideas off of each other, I think you really realize how creative you can be. And layering your thoughts of creativity on your team's thoughts of creativity can come up with some really powerful ideas and goals to move forward with.
Yeah.
The next is your job and your creative output have nothing to do with your creativity. There are musicians who are technical players or artists who meticulously reproduce scenery without adding their own stamp of creativity. There are also accountants or scientists who come up with innovative solutions and hypotheses. Your role should not determine your perceived level of creativity. A creative mindset is useful and can be present no matter what you do for a living.
So true. So true. So what are the characteristics of a creative mindset? Well, above all, people who embrace a creative mindset have confidence in their own creativity, even when other people don't have that same confidence about them. They can silence their inner critic and get on with the process of creating. They're able to identify resources that other people just don't see. They can find sources of inspiration in day-to-day life and approach puzzles and problems using an imaginative, fresh approach. They're comfortable with the unknown and the early stages of conceptualization. Now, no matter what they do for a living or what they produce, they tend to have these common traits in common. So they're open-minded. They're able to improvise, repurpose, and recreate. They're curious, always asking questions, persistent in the face of skepticism. They're resilient. They challenge authority and rules. Doesn't mean that they break rules and go against authority. They just challenge it to make sure it's right and being creative, right? And finally, they're comfortable with ambiguity.
Yeah, that's so good. So, what are a few key takeaways from this session? Well, first, a creative mindset is not limited to people who are inherently creative or in creative fields. It's for everyone. You just have to learn how to tap into it. A creative mindset inspires original breakthrough thinking that produces innovative results, products, and ideas. And the creative mindset's benefit include better decision making, anticipating problems before they arise, and boosting joy and leadership ability.
Yeah. So, what's some action steps that you can take? First of all, reflect on the following questions and then write down your answers. And again, as we go through this, you can pause this video and write down each one as you go through, or get the worksheets that Al said before on the Raise Your Bars Personal Growth Solutions Facebook page. So first question, do you think of yourself as a creative person? It's a yes or a no, or a maybe, right? Second question, ask yourself, what do you think makes someone creative? The third is, which creativity myths were you conditioned to believe? How do these myths affect your ability to create? Where do you use a creative mindset in your personal and professional life right now? And which creative mindset characteristics do you have? And follow up on that, which ones would you like to nurture? And then the final question on action step 1 is, which areas of your life would benefit from nurturing a creative mindset? Now, with that, don't just write all, even though that's true. Be specific, right? And focus on maybe 1 or 2 areas that you can really work on. So your second action step is to try the 30 circles exercise from the book Creative Confidence by Tom Kelly. Now, again, you can use the template in your action guide in just 3 minutes. Turn as many blank circles as you can into recognizable objects. When you've finished, answer the following questions, but don't read them in advance.
So we aren't going to say those questions on here right now. And then the last one, when brainstorming, the ideal scenario is to come up with lots of distinct ideas in a short period of time. 30 Circles perfectly illustrates this purpose of idea generation. So you want to answer the questions that are in your workbook after that. Hey, folks, this is actually brings us to the end of our podcast for this evening. I hope you got some value out of this. Chris, do you have any final thoughts?
Oh gosh, I think it. You just gotta do it, right? You just got to get out there and do it. And we've like we've said, we've all got creativity within us, and for whatever reason, that creativity may or may not have been stifled. And if you don't believe that we've all got creativity, we're all born with creativity, go and watch like young children. Go and watch young children at play, and then come back and tell me that they don't have creativity. Right? We all have it. And it's when we get into our sort of maybe teenage years or whatever, and we're told what to think instead of taught how to think, our creativity is sort of knocked out of us. So you can get it back, but you have to work at it. All right. And understanding your purpose and your passion and that vision of what you want to achieve will be a big step in helping you get there as well. So there's work to do, but if you do it, you'll get the rewards, I promise you.
Yes, sir. So, hey, folks, again, if you are a business owner and you are looking to grow your bottom line profits in 2025, regardless of what's going on in the economy, you need to go to raiseyourbars.com, watch our short webinar, and then reach out to us and book a time to do your profit assessment on your business, where Chris and I will spend a few hours with you on a Zoom call, going through the assessment, looking at the areas of your business, helping you find some quick wins in your business to generate some extra bottom line profit immediately. And we will hand over that report to you when we're done with some great tools and tricks and some ways to grow your business in 2025 and beyond. So head over to raiseyourbars.com, watch our webinar, reach out to us, book a call, and we'd be happy to spend some time with you and do this profit assessment on your business. Thanks for tuning in. If you found value in this, please share it. Please like our YouTube page, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Raise Your Bars podcast. If you found value in today's episode, please consider sharing it with your family, friends, and coworkers. We would sincerely appreciate it.